you're not ready for this. After months of waiting, Dandadan is finally back. And it's back with a bang, crazier, wilder, and more unhinged than ever. If you thought you'd already seen everything this anime had to offer, better brace yourself. Because Season 2 kicked the door down, smashed the ceiling, and blew expectations to pieces. Momo was just vibing, enjoying a relaxing bath, when out of nowhere, some freaky creature straight out of hell shows up. And to make it worse, the thing brought back up. Rude much? They try to grab Momo, but out of nowhere, a massive fish comes flying and smacks the intruders in the face. Momo kicks in her crazy powers with a wild explosion and tries to make a run for it. The alien thing's right behind her. But then the ceiling collapses, literally, and there she is, Turbo Granny, chilling by the fountain like nothing's going on. Turns out she was hiding in Momo's backpack the whole time, just waiting to step in. And in the end, those creepy monsters weren't even real demons. They were just a bunch of pervs in disguise. Ran off the second jail became a possibility. Turbo Granny keeps it real. Momo, stay away from Gigi's house. That place has got bad vibes. Smells like blood and something way off. Meanwhile, Gigi and Akaran stumble into a scene straight out of a horror flick. They think it's Momo at the door, and go to open it. But no, it's just a crew of weird old ladies who barely look human. They waltz right in and start feasting like it's their place. The head of the bunch? Gigi's grandma. And shockingly, she's actually human, or so they claim. Gigi explains that these ladies own the property, and if it weren't for them, he'd be living on the streets. Then he drops this weak excuse. I was just picking up a friend. But the grannies immediately start beefing with him, because they hate anything ghost related. One of them even pulls out a shotgun, just to show how serious she is about it. A cop shows up and looks like he's about to arrest her for carrying heat. But guess what? He's part of the same gang. And yeah, those weird skin dudes? Still creepy as hell. The old dudes start grilling Akaran, trying to figure out what he's doing there. But the kid's slick, dodging questions like he's playing in the World Cup finals. Meanwhile, Momo shows up at some mystical shrine, where a dude is standing frozen in a next-level yoga pose, more like demonic calisthenics. And the highlight? The guy's rocking some serious Rock Lee-style eyebrows, straight out of Konoha. Momo walks into the shrine hyped, thinking she's about to face off with some creepy ghost snake. But what does she find? Just a dried-up snake husk, looking like a crusty old flip-flop. Totally disappointed with the whole trip, she decides to head straight back to Gigi's place. When she gets there, she's greeted by a crowd with that something bad's about to go down look. Akaran and Gigi are out cold on the floor, full nap mode activated. Then one of the shady dudes goes after Momo, but he clearly wasn't ready for Momo's legendary dropkick. Then comes a knee to the nose so brutal, even her own knee tapped out. The girl's got karate sharper than a fresh razor blade, man. And the guy? He takes a full-on kick to the family jewels. If that made you flinch, type stay strong, brother, in the comments. Another creep tries to grab Momo, but enter Turbo Granny, the living legend. But don't get it twisted, she didn't step in cause she likes Momo. She was just pissed the guy interrupted her nap. And just like that, she kicks Momo too, because in her book, pervs and heroes get smacked equally. Momo realizes it's time to dip. Urgently, Granny's running on 220 volts, reflexes like a teen on an energy drink. She grabs Momo and chucks her across the room like it's nothing. And seriously, just look at this Granny's face. Straight up nightmare fuel. Then, she decides to spill the tea about the creepy snake Momo had gone to investigate earlier. The Granny starts dropping the lore bomb. Because of her family, there's this whole ritual involving offerings. And that keeps the evil snake chill, keeping things under control. But there's a catch. 3 offerings are still missing to complete the full ceremony. And guess who she's planning to sacrifice? Yep, Momo and her crew. Talk about rude. Momo tries to make a run for it, but she's surrounded by way too many minions. And then, bam, the ground turns into some demonic quicksand, sucking her down like it's Scooby-Doo but horror edition. Thankfully, Akaran and Gigi snap out of their nap just in time and manage to pull Momo out, only for all 3 of them to fall into a freaky room filled with cursed energy. And just when you think it can't get any weirder, this room warps them into another dimension, so big it could fit a school bus-sized snake. And guess what? Surprise! There's a giant snake waiting for them. Actually, calling it a snake is too generous. It's more like a mutant deathworm. Turbo Granny, who's really more like evil Granny now, starts hyping up the beast, telling it to eat them all. But plot twist, the worm loses focus and starts chomping down on its own henchmen. This place was already creepy, but now it's full-on nightmare mode. So the trio does the smart thing, they bolt, fast. But Gigi notices something seriously wrong. Akaran and Momo start twitching like they ate some expired meat pies. Akaran begins transforming and can't even control his powers anymore. Things are getting seriously messed up, And here's the kicker. Out of nowhere, this kid shows up, more bones than flesh. Akarin, trying his best not to go full demon mode, clenches his mouth like his life depends on it. And suddenly, wham! He sucker punches Gigi without a second thought. Akarin starts twisting and turning like an extra in a low-budget exorcism flick. Gigi, completely panicking, tries to heal his friend the old-fashioned way with some good OL beating. But then the whole house starts shaking like there's an earthquake rolling in. Except, surprise, no earthquake here. Just a Godzilla tier worm monster crashing the party. Gigi, going full Discovery Channel, quickly figures out that this thing sees through vibration. Meanwhile, Akarin looks like he's 2 seconds away from salsa dancing straight into the afterlife. And some folks thought this scene was gonna get censored. Yeah, right. Out of nowhere, Gigi gets hit with a wild flashback. He remembers the day his parents kicked the bucket. Momo's not doing great either, already halfway into the spirit world. But lucky for everyone, Speed Grandma, aka Turbo Granny, is online and ready to roll. She even yells at you, yes you, for not smashing that like button yet. Gigi suddenly becomes the rope guy and ties up both Akarin and Momo. Turbo Granny gives the 411 that worm's got some freaky hypnosis. It drains people's will to live and turns them into statistics. And of course, now it's up to Gigi to stop this mess before he ends up 6 feet under 2. Totally pissed after learning that this same worm was behind his parents' depression. Gigi scoops everyone up and bolts out of the house like a maniac. But he's in such a rush, he trips on the stairs and faceplants like a dropped burrito. The giant worm creeps in, inches from licking the whole squad. Then, boom! Out of thin air comes a beast that looks like Aaron Titan on a bad day. It throws up a massive energy wall, blocking out the worm's disgusting light. And finally, Akarin and Momo snap back to normal mode. All of this chaos? Yeah, it's courtesy of that cursed spirit over there. And his gaze? It's got the same creepy vibe as that mutant worm. According to Turbo Granny, who's outlived at least 3 different pension systems, the two are canceling each other out like a paranormal titan showdown. Akarin, now in full rage mode, charges in and rips the worm's head clean off. But this ain't no softcore monster. Dude just regrows the thing in seconds. Then the demon stares Gigi down with that shady, I know what you did last summer look. And boom, Gigi gets teleported straight into another episode of unresolved childhood trauma. There, we see a kid locked up, watching other children laugh and run free. And even though he's stuck like a side character in a depressing indie film, he starts dancing, clinging to hope like a champ. The kid is clearly hanging by a thread emotionally, but still manages to throw out a toothpaste commercial smile. Meanwhile, outside, some sketchy folks are doing a ritual so botched, even Google would be like, hold up, are you sure about this? Suddenly, a living mummy appears, basically a haven't showered in 12 years edition. Even the crows took one look and went, hard pass. Out of nowhere, the scene changes again, and the kid pops up in an even weirder place. He starts noticing a pattern. Anyone who gets close to him, poof, say goodbye. Only the other kids can actually see him, which is already creepy enough. And then, bam, the big reveal. That shady old hag, Gigi's so-called aunt, is faker than a $3 bill. She was using everyone around her like meat shields to keep herself safe through sacrifice. Basically, she's a demonic life coach. Back in the present, the demon with style starts taking over Gigi's body, and Momo jumps in, ready to throw hands. But Gigi stops her, tells her to chill, because he finally understood the demon's backstory. Turns out there's way more going on than just some spooky possession. Apparently, the demon dude just wanted to lend a helping hand. But honestly, I wouldn't trust that fashion-forward freeloader for a second. Gigi, now acting like a horror movie explorer, decides to head down to the basement, because he figured out that the mini-demon's body was probably buried deep under the house. He stops in front of a door that's basically screaming, do not enter. And what does Gigi do? He opens it, of course. Common sense? Never heard of her. And what does he find? The demon's body, all mummified like it got lost in someone's attic years ago. Turbo Granny, more alert than a LAN house Wi-Fi, immediately tells Gigi to back off. But our soft-hearted fool already caught feelings from the demon's tragic backstory. Meanwhile, let's not forget there's still a massive hellworm outside, puking out some alien slime that looks like expired ramen mixed with glow-in-the-dark goo. Akarin stuck, frozen like a glitchy NPC mid-cut scene. And suddenly Gigi goes full shopping mall mannequin mode too. Until, poof, he wakes up right back in the kid's emotional flashback. Gigi apologizes to the little ghost boy who just wanted a game of tag, not a lifetime of haunting. Then he drops the riskiest line in ghost movie history. I'll play with you for as long as you want. Dude, you never say that to a Japanese ghost child. And obviously, the kid takes that as a green light to try and hijack Gigi's body. Called it! You could see that coming a mile away. And while all that's going on, the mutant worm comes back swinging. But just before the goo attack hits, bam, it gets decked with a punch straight out of an Avengers finale. Enter Gigi, or rather, something using Gigi's body, now rocking a grotesque look like some edgy anime villain ready to solo the final arc. Except, yeah, it ain't Gigi anymore. The demon fully took over. I gotta admit, the look kinda slaps. If only those earrings weren't so weird, Stretchers would have earned a solid 10 out of 10. And as if the demon's style wasn't extra enough, he starts crushing both Momo and Turbo Turbo Granny, using only his foot. Yeah, his foot. The disrespect levels? Off the charts. The worm monster, looking like it crawled straight out of a laxative-fueled nightmare, pulls itself together and charges at Gigi in full murder mode. But Gigi, now in full-on Super Saiyan Demon mode, blocks it like it's no big deal, and even conjures up an energy ball that looks like a mix between Dragon Ball Z and the World Cup. He kicks it straight into the worm's ugly mug, like he's single-handedly winning the Champions League final. And he's not done, he starts spamming the same move over and over, like a kid button-mashing a Mortal Kombat fatality. The worm, realizing it's about to become monster sashimi, tries to flee into the sky, but Gigi, full of sass, starts juggling energy balls with his feet, because humiliating enemies is practically a sacred ritual in this anime. Meanwhile, Turbo Granny is watching the whole thing from VIP seats, growling in jealousy because she wanted to possess Gigi's body, not Ocarin's. I mean, Gigi's rocking a respectable physique, while Ocarin looks like a sentient toothpick with hair. Wasting no time, Turbo Granny turns to Momo and drops the warning. Get ready, girl. Gigi's on the dark side now. And before anyone can blink, bam, Gigi hurls an energy blast straight at Momo. She manages to block it on pure reflex, but Gigi comes flying in and delivers a punch so brutal, it ends their friendship on the spot. Just when he's about to finish her off with the final blow, he appears, the legend, the lag king himself, Ocarin. He jumps into the fight, all glitched out, freezing midair like a Shonen anime screenshot. And now, the question everyone's asking, who's gonna win this paranormal smackdown? Drop your predictions in the comments. Who's your pick in this epic brawl? After that dramatic freeze frame moment between Ocarin and Gigi, Ocarin doesn't waste time and shouts, "You're gonna pay for hurting my Momo." But deep down, he knows picking a fight here is a one-way ticket to getting mashed. I mean, this is Gigi's turf. Starting a brawl on enemy ground is just asking to become cannon fodder. So what does he do? He bolts, obviously. As they make a run for it, Momo throws up some magic walls straight out of a Power Rangers episode, trying to slow down Gigi, who's already acting like the final boss of the whole series. Dude's practically picking out matching coffins for both of them. But shockingly, the escape plan is actually working. Momo, breathless and slightly swooning, thanks Ocarin, but he shuts it down quick. Thanks, but let's keep moving. This place is one step from total apocalypse. Why the panic? Two demons just activated their Dark Souls boss fight mode, and seem pretty determined to turn their skulls into wall decor. Then Momo hits him with the million-yen question. Okay, but how exactly do we get out of this mess? Ocarin, confident like someone who definitely doesn't have a plan, says, "No clue, but I did figure out that the giant worm thing is weak to sunlight. Like a budget vampire." Momo lays it out. Yeah, she wants to get out of there, but she's not leaving without Gigi, because the poor guy's being possessed by that unhinged demon kid who wanted to reenact Frozen mid-battle. Ocarin, now playing the reluctant hero, says he'll handle it solo, and tells Momo to go get some backup. But then, cue the romantic anime moment. Momo grabs his hand, eyes sparkling, and says, "I'm not leaving until I save both of you." Ocarin pulls the classic dad ignoring a toy request move, grabs her and yeets her onto a nearby armchair. Then he whips out the wildest plan ever. Use the armchair as a launch pad and corner kick her through the air with his own feet. She tries to fly like a fairy, and fails miserably. But hey, it's Momo. She figures it out midair, uses her powers, and poof, makes it up there. Except, Gigi pulls up on Ocarin, and growls, "Time to throw hands, my dude." But Ocarin? Intimidated? Bro, the man's a lunatic. He might be shaking on the inside, but his stance? Solid as ever. Meanwhile, Momo goes full MacGyver, trying to braid together a makeshift fabric ladder to haul those two grown idiots up from below. The only issue? The cloth's way too short. Looked like she was trying to use a hand towel as a firefighter rope. So she thinks fast. Alright, I'll grab my phone and call the emergency Uber. But here comes the plot twist. The phone's still downstairs, probably getting roasted. So what's her new plan? Burn down the haunted house. Yup, you heard that right. She's about to set the anime's set on fire. Come on, Momo, think about the animation budget. At this rate, we'll get 2.5 episodes before the studio files for bankruptcy. Fire smash that like button to keep Ocarin from becoming Ghost Barbecue. Back in the Ring of Darkness, Lord have mercy. Gigi and Ocarin are going at it like it's the grand finals. Gigi's in reverse Neymar mode, doing freestyle moves with Ocarin's soul, while Ocarin's out here dodging like a noob in FIFA. The fight's so bizarre, it's hard to tell if it's a battle or a cursed soccer match from the underworld. Then, bam, Gigi lands a World Cup level energy shot, and follows up with an elbow strike that definitely deserves a red card. Then he drops the line, "Now I'm getting serious." Oh, now he is? Like all the beatings so far were just warm up? Meanwhile, that nasty venom from the mutant worm is slowly eating away at both of them from the inside, because the punching wasn't bad enough. Gigi traps Ocarin inside a hellish little house, the kind of place you'd only rent if Satan gave you a discount. He steps inside that demonic shed and starts swinging fists, like it's Black Friday and fists are half off. Ocarin's getting slapped around like a steak on a barbecue board, and honestly, it's starting to feel like we should start planning his funeral. But then, Ocarin grabs Gigi's face in the least gentle way possible, and goes, "Bro, I'm getting that demon out of you even if I have to beat it out." And he means it. He throws a punch so brutal that even Mortal Kombat's Scorpion peeked and like, "Yo, chill out, man." And it doesn't stop there. Ocarin switches to Turbo Fists mode and starts throwing punches, like a possessed sewing machine on full speed. I lost count of how many hits landed, all I know is, it hurt just watching it. And to top it off, he lands one final punch so savage that Gigi blacks out instantly. instantly, like hotel Wi-Fi during peak hours. Akaran wins, but man, he's completely wrecked. And to make it worse, that worm's poison is still kicking in. He needs to get out of there yesterday, or he's gonna end up as another spooky urban legend. Akaran, completely beat up, is trying to escape that little slice of hell with Gigi thrown over his shoulder, when he hears a voice echoing from the distance. It's her, the legend, the menace, the Turbo Granny herself. And of course, she's crying for help in her own sweet way, cursing out everyone's ancestors down to the Stone Age. Akaran's so stressed trying to save the old lady. He's about one slip away from a classified liquid emergency. But guess what? As he's reaching out to help, he slips on that hellspawn slime and crashes right into the goo pit with the Turbo Granny in tow. At that moment, she unleashes the full dictionary of insults on him, calling the poor guy everything except handsome. If she had more time, she'd probably file a celestial police report. Meanwhile, outside the haunted inferno, the fire brigade's working overtime trying to contain the blaze that screams Doom DLC. Momo's standing there awkward as ever, because, well, she kinda forgot to mention she's the one who lit the place up. And of course, since no one believes in spirits, aliens, or possessed goo, the cop rolls up all casual and drops, "Ma'am, we're gonna need you to come with us, just a quick ride to the station, okay?" And just like that, Momo's about to get her mugshot taken, when the ground starts rumbling like jelly in an earthquake. But this isn't just any tremor, it's the demon worm crawling back from the pits of pure rage. Momo couldn't manage to get the thing out of the house, so she had the brilliant idea. Fine, I'll just light this place up, maybe it'll want to leave. She may not be Oda, but girl's a genius. And guess what? It worked. The monster came crawling out, looking like he lost a fight with a barbecue grill. Then Momo suddenly remembers some random class Gigi once gave, about worms breathing through their skin. What even was that lesson? And boom, she starts cooking up a wild plan. The worm was pretty much done for, but Momo, being Momo, decides to finish the beast off in the most dramatic way possible. And what does she do? She throws a freaking fire truck right on top of it. With one final dramatic glance toward the sun, the worm finally goes off to the great beyond. But just to be sure, Momo hits it with a few Mortal Kombat style kicks, just in case the thing's faking it. And guess what? It twitches one last time, only to spit out the surprise prize. Gigi's nasty old grandma. Yeah, that disgusting lady survived too. You know what they say, trash never breaks, it multiplies. But before anyone can take a breather, the ground starts shaking again, this time like the apocalypse on steroids. The whole city is quaking, and even the local volcano decides it wants in on the chaos and starts erupting. Think this madness is over? Not even close, my dude. Now is when the real disaster begins. Wanna know how this mess ends? If you liked the video, smash that like button, hit subscribe. Thanks for watching, see ya!